Will Elektra be able to vanquish the legion of Bullseyes and put her own demons to rest? Only if she's willing to make a deal with the devil. All this and more on the pages of Daredevil. Issue number 35. Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? So then, picking up from where the last issue left off, Elektra had gone to do battle with her most hated foe, Bullseye, in Times Square. The only twist was she wasn't actually alone. Typhoid Mary had come as well, dressed up as Daredevil. And while Elektra was unsure if she would be able to overcome these insurmountable odds with someone like Mary on her side, things are starting to actually look up. Obviously, Mary is an incredibly powerful individual who seemingly always has been held back by her own split personalities and mental illness. Here now, she actually seems to be fighting for something. She has focus. And it doesn't even take an evil genius like Bullseye to put together what exactly it is Mary is fighting for. Her and Wilson Fisk have gotten quite close recently, and well, I think love is in the air. I also particularly love that Bullseye calls Wilson Fisk Big Willie in this, and here I thought I was the only one who could make a Will Smith joke and call him Big Willie style. Elektra is ultimately forced to leave the fight though when Bullseye implies that he sent more of his clone troopers to go kill Wilson at home. This means that Elektra herself is funneled into a big trap. It seems that Bullseye has taken over one of the Broadway playhouses and has put on his own gross performance. Two actors have been kidnapped and dressed up as Bullseye and Elektra respectively. Bullseye saying that this is a recreation of his greatest, most crowning moment ever. The night in which he killed Elektra for the first time. In fact, Bullseye is so pleased with himself he takes off his mask to reveal that he is the genuine article. You can tell because of the scars on his head. Bullseye says he'll let one of the hostages live, but only if they're willing to kill each other. So yeah, a real Sophie's Choice lose-lose type of scenario with Elektra herself caught in the middle. Bullseye has two snipers trained on her right now, but Elektra came to play, making use of a brand new gadget that allows her to essentially have her own Daredevil vision for a short minute. She sacrifices her two size to deal with the two cloned snipers, and for a second there, original recipe Bullseye has the drop on her, but wouldn't you know it, the lady hostage actually gets involved and messes up his shot. This is such a big, important moment, not only for this story, but for Elektra's own journey from anti-hero to straight-up hero. She was willing to do everything it took to save this woman, but wouldn't you know it, this woman was so inspired by the heroism that Elektra showcased, she was brave enough and actually was able to help. So much of Elektra's arc has been her trying to figure out why exactly Matt Murdock and the rest of the superhero community do what they do, but I think in this moment, Elektra finally understands. It's not just fighting crime, it's not just putting out fires, it's inspiring people to become heroes in their own right. Elektra and Bullseye Prime take their fight out to the main street, and Bullseye goes on a whole big monologue about how this is how it was always meant to be. Pistols at dawn between two hated foes. But Bullseye even opines about Elektra's newest turn, saying that she's like a painter that doesn't paint anymore, a killer who's lost their taste for blood, and really they're not good for much. Elektra and Bullseye draw on one another, but their bullets end up meeting in mid-air as if they are far too evenly matched. But what Bullseye couldn't consider, though, was the return of OG Daredevil Matt Murdock. When Matt had heard what Bullseye was doing to his city, he broke a vow to himself and got himself out of prison early to come and join this fight. In fact, Elektra has to pull him off Bullseye. It's a good thing he came when he did, though, because the threat of Bullseye and his Bullseye Legion has now officially ended. The cops show up on the scene, but they're none too happy with Matt. After all, he did just escape from prison. It's here, though, something very interesting indeed happens, something that is setting up the upcoming Devil's Reign event that we're going to be getting in December. You see, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the Fantastic Four actually stick up for Daredevil when the cops try and bring him in. Spider-Man especially gets in the face of the NYPD, saying that sure, Daredevil may have broken out of prison, but before he did, he uncovered a massive conspiracy involving drugs and dead prisoners. He did their jobs better than the cops could ever hope to do, and then he did it again by helping stop Bullseye and his Legion, so really what the hell are the cops doing chasing after him? It's a beautiful moment seeing Spider-Man step up and be so impassioned on behalf of Daredevil when we consider that he was the one who was the hardest on him back when this series started. It's the Thing Ben Grimm who actually gets probably the most poignant, saying that even though this feels like a victory right now, they may very well have stepped into something that they're not going to be able to step out of again. Now, what happened to the Kingpin? Well, he'd actually been talking to Izzy Libris on the phone this whole time, not about crime business, no, matters of the heart, in fact. Wilson feels feels himself being drawn in many directions and doesn't know what to do next with his life. His answer, though, quite literally comes crashing through the window as Typhoid Mary shows up just in time to stop one of the Bullseye assassins from killing Wilson. Wilson stops Mary from tumbling out of an open window before eventually opening up his heart and admitting that he loves her. Moreover than that, he's proposing, and you know what? Mary says yes. And so that was Daredevil issue number 35, everybody, and I gotta say, it was yet another excellent installment in what is still an incredibly excellent Chip Zdarsky series, even all this time later. The main theme of this issue seemed to be the things that we do for love. Love, a truly beautiful thing, is probably one of the most powerful motivators in the human condition. It can motivate people to do great things, like pushing Elektra to be a hero, but it can also push people to do some pretty messed up things, like when you're Typhoid Mary and the Kingpin. The finale here also seems to be setting up the event of December's big Devil's Reign storyline, what might end up being Chip Zdarsky's big final hurrah for his time on the Daredevil book. We saw the superhero community take a very big stand against the NYPD, and you know that's going to come and bite them in the ass again. For the time being, too, it also seems that Matt is done self-flagellating himself. He's out of jail, which means there's now officially 2 devils in the kitchen. Can that stand? I guess we'll have to see, won't we? Overall, I'd give this one another very positive 9 out of 10. This was just damn good. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.